All right, we are live on YouTube, and tonight we're going to be discussing how much do politics affect your dating life in the modern world. So stick around and find out exactly what I'm talking about. All of that and much, much more is coming right. Whoa! From Northern California, welcome to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli. And if this is your first time here, and most importantly, you are open to suggestions and change, please consider subscribing and then banging that bell. And after you bang that bell, when that pop-up box pops up, make sure you select all notifications, because that way you won't miss a single thing. You will not miss anything when it comes to getting a better grip on your life. That's right. You won't miss a single beat when it comes to getting a better grip on your life. That's what I'm here to help each and every one of you out with. All right. Before we get right to it, let me once again pay a special props to this channel sponsor, my good friend Troy Brewer, who is the CEO, founder, and owner of the Discover Community Network. For all of your product and service needs from the most trusted professionals in the industry, please consider visiting www.discovercommunitynetwork.com. One more time, www.discovercommunitynetwork.com. You can also visit a subsidiary of the Discover Community Network known as the DCN Internet Radio Network. And when you go on that website, you will see a bunch of incredible internet radio stations. There are internet radio stations that have music on them, and one of those stations is more than likely to suit. I keep saying shoot. Not shoot, suit your genre needs, your musical genre needs. But if you also like talk radio like myself, there are a bunch of talk radio stations out there as well. So if you'd like to check that out, please consider visiting www.dcninternetradionetwork.com. One more time, that's www.dcninternetradionetwork.com. Both of those links are below in the description, about a third of the way down. And if you check out those sites, you can also find out how to email Troy and connect with him. If you do that, please make Troy aware that Coach Eli sent you, as always, with lots and lots and lots and lots of love, because we're filled with lots of love and positivity over here on the Grip on Life channel. Wow. Oh, look who's in the house. We have Queen Helen Casey here, and she says, get ready to be under house arrest again tomorrow. I don't think my life's going to change, really. I've been dealing with the COVID thing, Queen, and I'm just doing what I have to do. When I need to wear a mask, I wear one. When I don't need to wear one and don't feel I need to wear one, I don't. I don't think it's going to really affect me that much. We'll talk more about that in just a little bit here as part of the show. But welcome to the show, Queen. Glad to see you here again tonight, and welcome back to the channel. Queen Helen Casey made a return yesterday after taking quite a break due to a bunch of trolling this channel used to get, which is now over and done with. And I'll explain more on how I've been handling that and why I feel she's back. And I'm glad she's back, because I only want people to be here that are positive people that are going to contribute to the conversation, and we can learn something from each other. Mutt Nuts World's in the house. Hey, Eli and everyone. Hey, Mutt, how you doing? Mutt says, hey, Queen. Queen says, hello, Mutt. Just like the good old days. Hey, Queen. Hey, Mutt. Yeah, I love it. It's back. We're back. Are we back or are we not back? Wow. And we've got a beautiful background here tonight, the Golden Gate Bridge. I love the Golden Gate Bridge. Speaking of the Golden Gate Bridge, because of hard times in the Bay Area, and due to, this is more than likely due to the COVID thing, Queen, you're right about this one. The Bay Bridge, I believe, is $8 to cross now. They're thinking about raising it to $10, I believe, by the end of the year. $10. That's probably going to be the most expensive toll to cross any bridge in the U.S. if that happens. I mean, all of our bridges, with the exception of the Golden Gate Bridge here in the Bay Area, are $6 to cross each time. I believe the Bay Bridge now is $8 or $8.25 or something like that, and they're going to be raising it more than likely to $10 for budget reasons. So it is what it is. I mean, people are still going to cross it. They're going to complain, but they're still going to cross it. And the people that use the Golden Gate Bridge, I mean, I'm not trying to be rude or anything. There's a lot of money here in the Bay Area, especially the people that typically cross it are people that are going to and from Marin County in the North Bay, one of the richest counties in the country. It's still, a lot of money to spend, even for people that have money, but, they have the money, so I don't think it's going to really affect them driving their Teslas over the Golden Gate Bridge. When I used to date my ex years ago, that lived across the Golden Gate Bridge in Marin County, it seemed like everybody owned a Tesla out there. So anyway, oh yeah. Before I get to the chat here, let me make sure that the notification has gone out. The notification has gone out. The stream status looks good. And we're ready to rock. One more thing, folks, in case you haven't been to my channel in a while or you're new here. If you haven't noticed, all of my live streams are still publicly available. But if you would like to chat in my live streams, you're going to have to be a member. My chats have become a members-only chat for the last several weeks now. Now, with the exception if you're a moderator like Queen Helen Casey and Mutt Nuts World and my several other great moderators, they bypass that. They are free of charge. They have more than earned a freebie here because they've done so much to contribute to this channel. But unless you are a moderator, the only two ways you're going to be able to chat in my live stream chats are A, become a channel member for a minimum of $4.99 per month. Now, I do have a total of 5 channel membership packages, ranging all the way from $4.99 per month to $99.99 per month, which is the super fan sponsor package. All those packages will get you the exact same thing, including being able to chat in the members-only chat, getting members-only videos, and future members-only live streams. And there will even be some special, very special 4K, content coming to members only as well. I'll share more about that later on in the week as I get closer to receiving my iPhone 12 Pro Max I announced yesterday. So if you want to find out more about the channel updates that I mentioned yesterday, go back and watch my stream from yesterday. I talked about that during the beginning. Now, if you don't want to purchase the channel membership, again, you can purchase the minimum one for $4.99 per month, and you can chat unlimited. But if you don't want to purchase that, the only other way you're going to be able to chat as a non-member in my chat is if you go to the bottom of the chat where you see that beautiful $sign. That's called the super chat and super sticker, $sign. You can send a super chat of any amount, and every time you want to send a message, you'll have to actually purchase a super chat. The minimum super chat is $1. If you purchase 5 super chats to get 5 messages, why not become a member instead and have unlimited messages? But the choice is up to you. Those are your options. And the main reason why, my chats are members only now is because I wanted to completely get rid of trolling and really, cater my content more to people that really want this content and that are not just here to play around, and do fun in games. I'm not all about that. Don't get me wrong. I like to have fun. I like to make my content fun and interesting, but my message is more of a serious nature to truly help people that want to get a better grip on their life so they can accomplish whatever it is that their hearts or heart desires. I'm all about personal development, so I'm looking to work with people that are willing to work on themselves, to better themselves, and truly enjoy personal development. All right, let's get to the chat here, and then we're going to get right into the show. The show's going to be, I'm going to try to get it done without a break, but I may have to take a break. I'm going to be dissecting another blog article tonight regarding the topic. But before we get to that, I'm going to update you folks on the latest regarding what's going on in the political world because, like I mentioned yesterday, I'm going to more so start incorporating a lot more political content as part of my coaching because I've just grown to realize how important and how much politics affect all aspects of our lives, especially now in this crazy modern world that we all live in. And that's why my show is called Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, because I understand it. I've been living it, and I've made mistakes, and I've learned from those mistakes, and I want to help you by teaching you to not make the same mistakes I made and to share with you what works best or what will give you the best chance to be successful the first or second time around rather than making 100 mistakes and then finally accomplishing what you want to accomplish, or after so many mistakes and not accomplishing what you want to accomplish, you just give up. I want to make sure you get there as soon as possible. All right, so let's check out the chat here. Mutt Nuts World says, I am okay, I guess, just still trying to get over some personal stuff. Well, Mutt, you know my door is open. You know I'm willing to help you, but you're so stubborn, and that's okay, Mutt. My door will always be open to you and Queen and the rest of the moderators. I will always help each and every one of you free of charge, behind the scenes, anytime you need my help, is what I'm trying to say. But yeah, that's up to you, Mutt. I know you're trying to work through some stuff and you're trying to do it on your own, and I commend you for that. And yes, you and Queen are both very strong modern day women, and not trying to take anything away from the fact that you're strong modern day women and you can't handle your own stuff. It's always nice to have a good friend that wants to help you through it. So anyway, all right. Let me make sure everything's still running well. Something weird just happened on the back end of YouTube. Is everything still running pretty good? Mutt, audio and video, let me know about that. Mutt Nuts World says, just not ready to talk about it all yet. No, I get it, Mutt. Mutt, I've been in your shoes. Let me tell you, Mutt, I've been in your shoes. And tonight's topic is going to maybe somewhat, be regarding, your situation. But, I've been through a lot regarding this topic here tonight, which kind of caters to you as well, Mutt. And, yeah, it hasn't been easy. I had to work through so many things. And, I have people I can go to, my family and my friends, but a lot of times they just don't want to hear it. And they, end up blaming you, when all you want is someone to hear you out. It's not about being right or wrong when you go through certain things. It's about just, someone willing to listen to you and lend you an ear. And that's what I'm willing to do. Looks and sounds good, says Mutt. All right, great. Thank you so much. All right, folks. So let's go ahead and get right to it here. I've been preparing more so for my shows lately, taking a bunch of notes, as I said yesterday, and in some of my recent past streams. I've been really getting addicted to CNN and really focusing a lot more on politics lately, obviously because of this election that happened last week, and it's still kind of, happening, kind of, sort of. We all know that on Saturday, all of the major news sources and the AP projected Joe Biden to be the next president of the U.S. And as of this current moment that I'm live at 9:53 p.m. Eastern, 6:53 p.m. Pacific on Thursday, November 12, 2020, Donald Trump has not conceded yet. And yeah, there have been some things that Donald's been working on, fighting some lawsuits, and maybe he's won a couple of them, kind of, sort of, but they did not change the outcome, and there's really going to be nothing that's going to change the outcome of this election, no matter, what he does. Joe Biden is just so far ahead, and he's even more than 5 million votes ahead in the popular vote. So the topic of tonight's stream is, how much do politics affect your dating life in the modern world? One more time. How much do politics affect your dating life in the modern world? Before I get to that, before I get to this article, let me just catch you folks up on the latest regarding what's going on with our country. Because this will even affect your dating life. It'll affect all aspects of your life. The first thing I want to talk about is, Trump is putting his own political agenda over national security. Trump is putting his own political agenda over national security. And, this, I'll be honest, I don't know if it should scare me. I really don't know how to feel about it. I mean, national security is extremely important. And when your commander-in-chief has pretty much checked out because he's angry and bitter about losing the election, and then he would rather go out there and go golfing than handle the COVID-19 situation, which is blowing up at an alarming rate, I don't know what to say. It just seems like, since last week, Donald has just checked out. And I'm at a loss for words. If you have any thoughts in the chat, let me know. But that's one of the things that was being discussed today through the media. One of the people on CNN was saying, our house is on fire and the president is basically locking himself in his bedroom. Our house is on fire and the president is basically locking himself in his bedroom. And on another note, that same person mentioned federal action may need to be taken for Mike Pence to finish out Trump's term. One more time, federal action may need to be taken for Mike Pence to finish out Trump's term. Well, if Donald's going to check out and just not pay attention to anything, and, the country's going to fall apart because we have no commander-in-chief, and someone has to step in. I actually would not have a problem if Mike Pence were to step in as the VP and be the acting president for the rest of the year. To be honest with you, and he's a conservative. And to be honest with you, I actually think Mike Pence is a pretty good guy. And I actually think that Mike Pence, along with a lot of other conservatives, have been put in a pretty tough spot, with Donald Trump, because even some of Donald Trump's own administration, his own conservatives, are questioning some of his actions, some of his behaviors, some of his non-actions. But they're not really saying anything because they fear repercussion from Trump. And it's pretty sad. It's pretty sad when you have a president that, when he doesn't get his way, if his own people don't agree with everything that he says and does, good, bad, or indifferent, they get penalized. They get fired. And that's what Donald Trump's been doing. And Donald Trump's been destroying, the administration. He's been destroying the national security. He's like an angry big baby. And before he destroys the country solely on the fact that he's bitter about losing the election, something needs to be done. So there may need to be a federal action taken if he doesn't, snap out of it over the next few days and start running the country again until his, term ends on January 2020 of this coming year, on January 20, 2021, which is what I'm trying to say. Let me see here. Let me check out the chat here real quick and see if anything is going on. Give me just 1 second. All right. I just got an email from LifeSite saying that the judge ordered the Pennsylvania segregated late ballots to stop counting. Yeah, I heard something about that too as well, Queen. We'll just have to see what happens with that. I mean, is it going to be big enough to overcome the lead? That's the question, right? Again, we'll see what happens, because whenever any recount has been done, even with human error and stuff, the most that, the most amount of ballots that has ever shifted in the opposite end or towards the opposite end has been like 500 to 1,000 votes, like under 1,000 votes. And typically it's a couple hundred. So, I mean, it's a long shot. And yeah, I mean, I'll give that to Trump. Look, if there's something illegal that he can do, that's his right to do so. The issue is it worth it? Is it worth it because Biden is so far ahead? I mean, that's like, somebody, doing something to you and you want to sue them, but the cost of the lawsuit is going to cost more money than the benefit you would gain from it. So in those cases, you just say, well, it is what it is. I'll just protect myself better next time. You know what I mean? All right. And there's Queen with her thoughts about CNN. I get it. I get it. Yeah, but your buddy Donald, Queen, is very mad at Fox News as well. He's very angry at Fox News, the station that has gone more conservative and was more of a Donald Trump favorite. Now he's kind of flipping. Anyway, one more thing here before we get to the blog. We've been on for 22 minutes. I'll probably take a very quick break before I get to the blog, because I want to refill my coffee and rest my voice for a few, because this blog is going to probably take me about 30 to 45 minutes to go through. The Department of Homeland Security said today that this was the most secure election in history. One more time. The Department of Homeland Security said today that this was the most secure election in history. That's why you have federal agencies that support the president, in running the country. These federal agencies each have a job. They have one aspect, of something of serious nature to protect us from, right, as U.S. citizens. So when the Department of Homeland Security comes out and says this is one of the most secure elections we've ever had, especially with the technology we have nowadays and the encryption and all that, I don't understand why we just can't, stop this nonsense and move forward. Trump is thinking about getting his own TV station. Well, Queen, that'd be great. Oprah Winfrey, right? Remember, Oprah had her show for years, and then she got her own TV station on cable, the OWN station, OWN, Oprah Winfrey Network. Well, if he wants to get Trump TV, that's on him. And here's the thing, Queen. Again, this is nothing personal towards you or any other conservative. I respect your beliefs, and I value what you say, whether I agree or disagree. But the truth of the matter is Donald Trump has a huge ego. And if it's going to take for him to have his own TV station to subside that bruised ego, then so be it. And he has the money to do it. Why wouldn't he do it? And I'll tell you, he would literally have, how many votes does he have right now? Like 71 million or something, almost 72 million. He would literally have over 70 million people that voted for him that would watch him. He could sell a lot of commercials on there. I mean, that would be, to be honest with you, Queen, Okay, I read what you wrote about Oprah. I'm not gonna read that for obvious reasons, but I get it. Um, but why wouldn't Trump do that? Why wouldn't Trump get his own station and he could run it the way he wants to run it? He could make it a cable station, or if he wants to, have an unfiltered station, he would probably have to make it pay-per-view, but there would be people that would pay for it. And that would probably suit Trump a lot better, getting his message out, than being the president of the United States. And that's what many people, including myself, have said all along about Donald Trump when he got elected 4 years ago, when he won the 2016 election. This was more of another notch in his belt. It was just another thing that Donald wanted to accomplish in his life. He made lots of money, a very successful entrepreneur, and he wanted to also be the president of the United States. He wants to accomplish everything possible in life, and he accomplished it. He was the president of the U.S. for the last 4 years. But again, I think for Donald Trump, this was more about getting another notch in his belt than actually really wanting to run the country. That's just my opinion. Fox News tanked right to the bottom. Fox News tanked right to the bottom. Well, yeah. You mentioned yesterday, Queen. I went back and watched the replay, and I missed one of your comments. I apologize. You were saying Fox News lost, 42 or 43 million viewers? Yeah. Well, if Fox News was more catered to conservative type of content, and now Donald Trump is anti-Fox News, a lot of people that were watching Fox News primarily because Donald supported them and Donald, was endorsing them. Now that Donald pulls away, guess what? Those people are going to go with Donald, and that's another thing. That's another thing that I don't believe a leader should do. And there are many leaders that do that. There are many people out here on YouTube that run a YouTube channel and try to control their audience. And if their audience does not suit their agenda, then they talk smack about their audience and kick their audience to the curb. So for Donald Trump, this is another, control thing. Okay, you got all these people to believe in him and believe, every word that comes out of his mouth. And when he started, endorsing and promoting Fox News as the only decent, mainstream media news outlet early on in his presidency, okay, the people went there, right? Now that he's talking smack about Fox News and he's unhappy, where do the people go? They're going to leave Fox News and they're going to follow Trump, right? Fox News turned all the way to the left. No, Queen, I understand why you feel that way. And again, I respect your opinions, but this is my opinion. This is why you and I should do a show, Queen. It would be very successful. We'd make lots of money doing it because we get along, but we can talk the opposite end of the spectrum and have civil conversations about this, right? So I don't think Fox News turned way left. I think Fox News, as a media outlet, was put between a rock and a hard place to tell the truth, or what they feel is the truth, not just to, follow the suit of the agenda of the president. Just because Trump feels, fraud happened in the election doesn't mean it actually happened. Does he have the right to sue these states? Sure. But the media and other people have the right to make their own decision. And if Fox News feels that Trump is being that Trump is inaccurate and he's what's the word I'm trying to say here? Is not being truthful. If they feel he's not being truthful, they've got a duty to society to report the news fairly. That doesn't mean that they no longer support Trump. And quite frankly, to be honest with you, even if Fox leaned more to the right and CNN leans more to the left, with CNN, they're always fair to both sides. Yes, CNN is probably a little more left than right. But when the right does something that's correct, they will talk about it. When the left does something that is wrong, CNN will talk about it. They're very fair and neutral, even though you're probably right, Queen, that they're more on the left. With Fox News, yes, they were more on the right, but they have the responsibility of reporting the news as accurately as possible. And if the president's trying to get them to promote inaccurate news just to suit his agenda, and they choose not to do that, come on. Who's really at fault there? Fox News hated Trump for everything he has done for the people, and they are panicking now because the truth will be revealed. So, okay, I look forward to seeing this. It's getting pretty interesting, Queen. I will say, or to say the least, to say the very least, it's getting very interesting. It's getting very interesting. But again, like I just mentioned here, before I take a break, then I'm going to come back and we're going to discuss the topic and go into this article. The Department of Homeland Security says this was the most secure election in history. Again, folks, in my opinion, and from what I've seen, nothing wrong happened during this election. It was one of the smoothest elections in history. There were really no glitches. There was great security everywhere, and now you're starting to hear more from all the federal agencies. You're even starting to hear from some, Republicans that were afraid to speak out, some conservatives that were afraid to speak out because they don't want to get attacked by Trump. And it's really sad when you as a politician are silenced from how you feel and your opinion doesn't matter because the only opinion that matters in the president's head, in this case Donald J. Trump, is his own. But more and more are going to start coming out, and you're going to see. You're just going to see what's going to happen. My prediction is that Mike Pence is going to become the acting president, for the rest of Donald's term until January 20th, 2021. I'd actually like to see that. I actually like Mike Pence. I think he's a good guy. And I'm saying that as a slight left liberal. I think Mike Pence is a good guy. And last week, when Donald Trump did his crazy speech, he wanted Mike to say a few words, and Mike had to kind of present how he felt in a way that would not upset the public, the general public, but in a way that would also appease Donald Trump. I couldn't work for somebody like that. I couldn't work with someone that is such a control freak as much as Donald Trump is. He's a control freak. Now, again, to you conservatives that want to support him, that's your choice. And you know what? I respect your wishes on that. My opinion is the guy's a control freak. And you're now more so seeing it. He's a control freak and a big baby when he doesn't get his way. And that's very immature behavior from any man or woman regarding anything besides all of this. All right, so we are at 33 minutes. I am going to go ahead and cue up some good old royalty-free YouTube music, step away for a little break, and then come back and get into this article that is titled, Singles Want to Date Someone Who Share Their Political Views. Would you date someone with different political beliefs? Here's what a survey of 5,000 single people revealed. So that's coming up right around the corner here. So let me cue up the music. Give me a second here. Just need one more. Let me see here. All right, folks, I'm going to step away for a 5 to 7 or 8 minute break. Like I said, when we get back, we're going to get right into the blog article. Singles want to date someone who share their political views. So stick around. We'll be right back. there from the YouTube audio library, then you have magic. You have magic. Yeah. You have magic. One comes around one today. Woo. They don't say things the same. Two walk back, two out the door. Then you have magic. You have magic. Yeah, clap your hands, clap your hands, clap your hands, clap your hands. Clap your hands, everybody, and everybody clap your hands. Woo! Oh yeah. Oh, yes. We are back. Yeah. Feel it. Feel the music and the beat. Feel the groove and feel real good. America's going to get back on track one way or another, folks. America's going to get back on track. Just wait and see. I feel really good about 2021. Wow. Whoo. Little itch for good luck. All right. Welcome back to Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, live here on YouTube. It is 10:26 p.m. Eastern Time, 7:26 p.m. Pacific Time here in my neck of the woods. I'm in California, in the beautiful, glorious, amazing San Francisco Bay Area. Northern California, San Mateo County to be exact. You know where I'm at. You know where to find me, right? If you want to, come out to my area and say hi. But if you're going to do that, be respectful about it. Don't troll me. Don't troll me. I've had enough of trolling. I'm done with the trolling out here on YouTube, I'll tell you that. All right. So tonight we are going to be discussing how much do politics affect your dating life in the modern world. That's coming up in just a second. We'll be dissecting a blog article here that will make perfect sense regarding this topic. But if you missed the first part of the show, I was updating people with the latest regarding what's been going on regarding the election that took place last week and up until this very moment right now on Thursday, November 12th, 2020. The current president, Donald J. Trump, has still not conceded, and the story just continues. And this has got to be one of the most... How do I say this? What are the right words to use? This has got to be one of the most ridiculous stories I've ever seen regarding the political realm. I mean, I got to give Donald Trump one thing. If he's seeking attention, he's certainly getting it. And maybe that's what he wants. Maybe that's what this all boils down to. We'll just have to wait and see how it pans out. But during the first part of the show, I was talking about, Trump is putting his own political agenda over national security. Our house is on fire, and the president is basically locking himself in his bedroom. I mean, he's really not doing anything to take care of the COVID-19 issues we're having and other issues that we're having. And it was mentioned on CNN that federal action may need to be taken for Mike Pence to finish out Trump's term. And I also discussed the Department of Homeland Security was saying this is the most secure election we've ever had. So if you missed the first part of the show, go back and check out the replay, because if you're here live and if you haven't noticed, I turn off the DVR function on my live stream, so you're not able to rewind back, because I want people here live to participate if they're here in the chat. So go back and check out that replay shortly after this show ends. All right, so we're going to get right to it here. Queen Helen Casey says CNN are liars. You know what, Queen? My opinion is this. Some things regarding the media are true and some are not true. And that goes for all news media resources. We have to also understand that they are a business and, they're trying to sell commercials to make money. It's about sponsorships, right? So to a certain degree, I can understand where you're coming from, but it's not just CNN. It's Fox, it's NBC, ABC, CBS. the AP. Every news outlet is going to sometimes, push the boundaries a little bit to get a little more attention. My honest opinion regarding this election, and this is just my opinion. If it offends anyone, my apologies to you. I'm not here to offend anyone. My opinion is that CNN got this one spot on, and they've been very fair with both sides. They've been right down the middle, and they've been, they've had a lot of due diligence to provide the most accurate information possible for the general public, not just the left or just the right. So that's just my opinion there. All right, let's go ahead and switch on over to the browser source. And I'm not going to be able to show the title here because it is off-center compared to the rest of this this blog here. I have it set up to the portion where I'm going to be reading and critiquing. The title of this article is called "Singles Want to Date Someone Who Share Their Political Views." One more time. Singles want to date someone who share their political views. Why would you date someone with different political beliefs? ? Here's what a survey of 5,000 single people revealed. So this is on the time.com website, and it was written by, give me a second here. I can sign up for the Time stuff later. I love how all these pop-ups come up every now and then. I know they want you all to sign up, and I will, but I can't do it right now, and I couldn't do it earlier. Didn't have the time. This article was written by Belinda Lascombe, and I guess it was originally published on October 6, 2020 at 5:43 p.m. Eastern, and then updated the next day, October 7th, 2020 at 11:55 a.m. So basically, it was almost a month ago. So this is very, very recent. And I will say, before I start dissecting this, I've actually had a lot of experience with this personally in trying to find true love and happiness since, I became a single man about a little over 2 years ago when my ex and I split up. Primarily, I use Match.com, but I also use OkCupid and some other dating sites. And it's very interesting to me that even on dating sites, they allow you to list your political party. And my experience is, to start this off, I've mentioned this a little bit before in the past. I mentioned this, I think, on a stream last week. And then I also mentioned I'm going to do a dedicated stream to this, which now this is that stream. And what I said was this. I've talked to many women on Match.com, for example. And I've exchanged some messages back and forth. And a lot of these women that I talk to, they like my pictures, I like theirs, and that's not the only thing. I mean, sure, there has to be some physical attraction, but we also liked each other's profiles. And as we started talking, and things seemed to be going pretty well, the women would come out of the blue and say, "Oh my gosh, I just noticed that you're a liberal. And I'm a big Trump supporter, so I don't think we would be able to get along. So I'm going to have to cut this conversation short and wish you the best." And I started getting that time and time again, to the point of where I had to start filtering out my matches by political party preference, which I've never had to do that before. Like before my ex and I split up, in the past, before I found my ex, which I found her through online dating and Match.com as well, I never had this issue. No one back then really made a big deal about, being a liberal or being a conservative. But now, since Trump's been in office, it's like the most important aspect of everyone's life. Are you a Trump supporter or are you not? It all boils down to, are you a Trump supporter or are you not? And if you are, and the lady's a liberal, she won't want to date you. If you're not, if you're not a Trump supporter and you come across a conservative profile, then she won't want to date you. Talk about the country being divided, even on the dating aspect, on the dating realm, and in the dating realm, which is what I'm trying to say. And that's just really sad, because there is a possibility that a liberal man could get along and have chemistry with a conservative woman, and vice versa. It's possible for a conservative woman to, make it work with a liberal man. But because of what's happened recently, even women that are looking for true love are really looking at this very closely. And even if everything else is perfect, that one aspect, your political party preference, can get you ex-nayed, eliminated, gone. All that time and effort you put into getting to know her, down the drain, right? So let's get right to it here. All right. Let me make sure that the chat's working okay. Okay, so to the long list of institutions with which America's current political divisions are messing, we can now add dating. Oh, you bet your bottom dollar. And if you missed what I just said about 5 minutes ago, if you're watching this on the replay, scrub back. Or if you are here live, go back and hear it again on the replay. I agree. There has been, according to reports from several corners, a sharp increase in the number of single people who would simply decline to date anyone who did not share their political persuasion. Oh, it's astronomical. I've dealt with it hands-on many, many times. I think what I failed to mention a few minutes ago when I was sharing my experiences is that even when I talk with liberal women that are interested in me, they ask me, you're not a Trump supporter. No, I have liberal in my profile. Maybe you missed that. Well, just making sure sometimes people make mistakes, but you're not a Trump supporter. No, I'm not a Trump supporter. I mean, he's done some things that are okay. You got to give credit where credit's due, but I'm slightly left liberal, and I did not vote for, Donald Trump. So increasingly, people who want to eventually head down the aisle are reluctant to consider doing it with someone from across the aisle, further dividing our country. I never realized until the last 4 years how much politics affects all aspects of your life. The growing distaste has been in the air for some time, but Match, the big cheese of the matchmaker websites, which is what I use primarily, it's a great site, one of the best ones I feel, put some figures to the feelings when it released the 10th of its annual Singles in America reports on October 6th. According to its survey, the number of people who are looking for a partner but believe it is not possible to date a person of the opposite political affiliations has risen from about a third in 2012 to more than half in 2020, with a 4 percentage point increase just in the last 12 months. So this actual poll here proves everything I just said. Remember, before I met my last ex, before we broke up and before I met her, I was on Match, which is where I found her. When I was looking for women during that time, and we're looking back, 4 years ago or so? We're looking at 2016, right? It really wasn't that big of a deal. And this article here goes back to 2012, where it really wasn't as much of a big deal. But now fast forward into 2020, and it's risen from a third of the people making it a deal breaker to more than half of the people making it a deal breaker, more than 50%. Even if everything else is perfect about the person they're seeking, if they're not the same political party or have the same political beliefs, you're out. With a 4 percentage point increase just in the last 12 months. This is staggering. What does that say to you? I'll tell you what it says to me. It says that good, bad, or indifferent, Donald Trump being in office the last 4 years has shaken things up unlike you've ever seen before. Now, for the conservatives, they're feeling he's shaking things up for the better. For the liberals, they feel that he's shaking things up for the worse. I'm not here to judge one way or another. I'm just stating what I've noticed and what's actually happened. But this is staggering. This is staggering. Let me check out the chat real quick here. Okay, nothing happening in the chat. Let's continue. Research from Pew in April already suggested that having voted for President Trump would be a deal breaker for more than 70% of Democratic voters, and having voted for Hillary Clinton would turn off 47% of Republicans. Well, maybe the female Republicans were somewhat okay with her. But I'll tell you, the male Republicans, no. So maybe that's why that number is only 47%. That's just my opinion. But on strictly party lines, the distinctions were less stark. Fewer than half of Democrats would spurn a Republican for his or her party affiliation alone. And fewer than a quarter of Republicans felt that way about Democrats. So I believe what that means is that fewer than half of the liberals, Democrats out there to this day would date someone from the opposite party, would date a liberal, okay? And fewer than a quarter of Republicans felt that way about Democrats. So less than 25% of the people out there dating, you know, in this modern world to this current minute here, would consider dating someone from the opposite political party, in this case, the Democrats. Now, that's what I feel that means. If I screwed that up, someone will tell me in the chat or on the replay, but that's the way I interpret it. And it makes sense. It makes sense. I'm not saying that people that are from the opposite party don't date, but it has started to really more so decline. People want to date someone that have similar political views. And I mentioned this in a stream I did several weeks ago regarding that opposites don't attract. You know, you want to have more similarities than differences because you're going to be able to relate to things. And I'm now going to start throwing in political party preference. I mean, that's how it seems to be going. I've noticed that personally myself in my real life, trying to find true love. And this article clearly, with the numbers and what they're saying, is saying the same thing. Staggering. It's interesting as hell. More recently, a YouGov Economist poll in September found that half of Republican voters and 40% of Democrat voters wouldn't mind if their child married someone from the opposite party. Okay. So half of Republican voters and 40% of Democrat voters wouldn't mind if their child married someone from the opposite party. Well, if they're a good person and there's chemistry, why does it matter? See, I think, I think these parents just want their kids to find someone that's going to be good to them, right? And that's what really matters. And they're also saying that we really wish that our country wasn't divided. But it is. This further proves it. But 45% of the poll's respondents would not date someone from the opposite party themselves. And the vast majority of them, 86%, think it has become tougher to date someone on the other side of the political divide. Oh, yeah. No doubt about it. Now, folks, I don't expect you all to go back and watch streams I did several months ago. But several months ago, I was sharing some of my dating experiences, sharing some of the text messages and communications I had with several women where things seemed to be going pretty well. And I'll just rehash one story very quickly. I was talking to this one woman who was a liberal and I thought was slight left like me. and we were getting along. There was physical attraction. There was an emotional connection. There was the mental connection. We had great conversations. But when we started talking about politics, she turned into a radical feminist. And, whenever I would share my opinions about how women have risen up in a positive way, she'd get offended by it, just me talking about it. Like, she totally flipped out. She was thinking that I was trying to, she thought I was trying to discredit women. All I said was that women were biologically made to be a certain way. And the position that women have been put into nowadays, even working, requires them to exude more masculine energy than feminine energy in many of the jobs they do. That's just how it is. I wasn't being disrespectful and saying that you don't deserve to have equal rights. I've always felt women deserve to have equal rights. But a lot of the things that women are doing today are things that once only men did, because these are jobs that require more masculine energy. And this is a woman that I had many conversations with, like 4 phone calls with, and we were going to meet. But then I decided, listen, I don't want to deal with a woman that is going to attack me on this and is going to be more dominant than submissive. I don't have a problem if a woman is dominant 20 to 30% of the time, but if a woman is not submissive 70 to 80% of the time, that's not going to work for me, because that's not part of her natural essence and the way she was biologically made to be. So that's one story there where, even a woman that was the same political party as myself didn't work out because she didn't understand my feelings about, what's really going on with women nowadays. And I was saying it with the utmost respect, and she was just getting offended that I was even talking about it. So I was not going to have a voice in that relationship in an honest and reasonable way. So I wished her the best and I moved on. All right. So the match figures make the trend lines a little clearer. A full 3/4 of the study's 5,000 respondents, who were not all match members but were all single, said that it was important for their partners to share their political beliefs. Yeah, because they can relate to each other better. They'll have less arguments. The more you can relate with people or with your partner on things, the better your relationship will be. That's what I've just grown to learn. That's how my experience has been. Only half of the survey participants felt that it was so vital as recently as 3 years ago. And before that, the numbers hadn't budged since the study began. Right. And I remember I was talking about, dating before my ex and being online and trying to find women, back in those days, like, 2016, around there. It was much more, it was much different than it is today. It's gotten pretty bad. It really has. It's gotten more difficult to find true love. True love is hard enough to find. Chemistry is hard to find, in general. Now we're going to throw political party preference into the mix and make it even more difficult, more harder than it already is, or more hard than it already is, which is what I'm trying to say. Queen Helen Casey says, it's biblical. Believe me on this one. Queen, I believe a lot of what you say. Queen, I never discredit a thing that you or anyone else says. The only people that, I ban on this channel or I remove here are people that are not reasonable. If we have a difference of opinion, I keep saying this over and over again, I'll say it again. If people have a difference of opinion with me, no problem. Share your opinion in a respectful way like you're doing. And I'll respect that, and we'll continue, and we'll be great friends, and we can learn from each other. Queen, I've learned things from you. This shirt is, my collar is messing up on this shirt today for some reason. I don't know why. All right, there we go. Anyway, let's get right back to this article here. Helen Fisher, a biological anthropologist and consultant for Match, who has helped compile the survey for the past decade, says the size of the uptick is a little worrying because it means people are overriding their primordial urges to reproduce. Finding a reproductive partner is the most important thing we do in our life, says Fisher. That is true. But even there, a lot of women nowadays, I've talked to women in their 20s and 30s that have no kids. They say they never want kids. More and more women nowadays are not wanting to have children. So yeah, maybe that's another stream I'll do sometime down the road. Why are women deciding to not have kids in the modern world? I've talked to many of those as well. They just want to date, maybe get married, but they don't want to have kids. And part of it has to do with the fact that they're working and they want to focus more on their career. Which again, if you go back to the days of traditionalism and how women were biologically made to be, they're the caretakers. They would raise the kids, they would take care of the kids, the house, and the husband would go out, bust butt, and bring home the bacon, right? So now because women are working, and when they're working and trying to get promoted and make ends meet on their own and be independent, it takes up so much time and energy, they have nothing left in the tank to have a family. We'll talk more about that in a future upcoming stream or video. Finding a reproductive partner, I already read that. People who are madly in love are normally willing to overlook anything. I agree. If you have that much chemistry with someone, okay, if there's so much chemistry, even if one side of the relationship is a liberal and the other side's a conservative, if there's an overwhelming amount of chemistry, you can work through anything. And you can understand each other. In my opinion, that's what it all boils down to and should boil down to. But that's not how it is with a lot of men and women nowadays, especially more so women from what I've seen. But that's just what I've seen. Maybe that's a biased opinion, but that's just what I've seen. The Caplet-Montague divide between the political sides is also concerning to Bradford Wilcox, sociology professor and the director of the Marriage Project at the University of Virginia. We know that marriage is one of the key markers of social solidarity, he says. The rise of polarization in dating means we're headed in the direction of greater balkanization. Now, I don't know what the heck balkanization is. Forgive me. I'm going to have to go to my other browser you won't see on the screen and actually figure out what that is. Is sometimes depreciated geopolitical term for a disorderly or unpredictable fragmentation or sub-fragmentation of a larger region or state into smaller regions or states which may be hostile or uncooperative with one another. Okay, that makes sense. I've never heard that word before. Forgive me. I had to look it up. All right, I can see that. It makes sense. Let's continue. Some, however, see the political love gap as part of a longer trend. Yeah, well, it's what's trending right now, and it's probably going to continue trending. I'm curious to see if this is going to get worse in the next 4 years that Biden's in office, or if it's going to go back more towards the way it was, and there will be less of a division, not only with dating, but in general throughout our country here in the U.S. Philip Cohen, a sociology professor at the University of Maryland, College Park, is not surprised that people are seeking political similarity in their intimate relationships. Yeah, because, opposites don't attract, like I've said in the past. That's just my opinion. And in my experiences, once again, when I have more in common with someone, that's when I connect the deepest, and a relationship will work out of that. Rising partisanship may be a relatively recent phenomenon, jet propelled by Trump's entry into politics, says Cohen. I was just saying that all along. And now they're bringing Trump into this because, like I said earlier, Trump has changed everything. Trump has shaken things up in ways unlike we've ever seen before for both liberals and conservatives. So in essence, what Cohen is saying here, Philip Cohen is saying, is that this primarily has to do with the shift that President Trump created over the past 4 years. I would have to 1,000,000% agree with that. Okay, let me make sure this is on the screen here. But it is primed by the long-term trend towards partnerships that are emotionally as well as sexually and financially fulfilling. Yeah, you have to have all the rest. See, I've been saying that all along. You've got to have the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual connection. And then you have to be financially stable. That's 5 things. Absolutely important. But you can have all 5 of those things and be the opposite, political party of the person that you're interested in and that is interested in you. And one side or both of you, when you find out that you're on the opposite end of the political spectrum, it's not going to work out. When everything else is perfect and chemistry is a brewing, right? What Northwestern University psychology professor Eli Finkel, oh, nice name, Eli, Eli Finkel, calls the all or nothing marriage. Well, that's how it is nowadays. It's all or nothing. I've noticed that. It's either all or nothing. You either are on the exact same page with someone or it doesn't work out. And that's what I feel the all or nothing marriage is, or the all or nothing approach is. Cohen also points to practical considerations. How do you choose what news to watch or what friends you can group together? In the current period, when people are embedded in social and informational bubbles with like-minded friends and relatives, he says the idea of partnering with someone from a different bubble is understandably daunting. Well, like I keep saying, opposites don't attract. And it's more so being proven here when you even include political party preference. At a minimum, it is awkward and complicated. Well, it can be if you allow it to be, but if you accept people for who they are and you're civil with each other despite some differences, you can still get along. I would have no problem dating a conservative woman that, would probably disagree with me on certain things, and I'd probably disagree with her on certain things. But we could talk those things out and learn from each other and make the relationship even more interesting because we each have a little bit of a different dynamic to bring to it. Let's say most of everything else, we're on the same page, but our political views are a little different. That, to me, would spark up a very interesting conversation. Maybe a little bit of a feisty one that could end up in the bedroom later on that night for some great loving. But you have to be open to hearing other people's opinions that are going to be different and be understanding to their opinions, whether you agree or disagree with them. And a lot of people are all or nothing, including, political views as well. And that's what makes it awkward and complicated, like was just mentioned, which is what I'm trying to say. There are even divides within the political divides. Yes, there are. Matches thinkers show that in general, Democrats were more eager to learn about their dates' political views. Gen Z Republicans, this is the post-millennial I generation, those born between 1997 and 2012, were the least comfortable telling potential partners which way they lean politically. That's because they're young and they're inexperienced, and politics to them probably don't mean that much because they're still living at home. They may have a job, but they don't really have much responsibility. They're going to school and getting their education. It's not going to mean something to them until they get into their early to mid-20s, after they graduate college, if they go to college, or get their first real job. That's when it's going to start to, really mean something to them. So I don't know if it's about them not being comfortable. I just don't think they're experienced enough at a young age in their teenage years, or even before that. Let's see. while boomer Democrats, especially the men, were fine with it. Well, I'm not a boomer, I'm pretty close to one. I'm the next generation, Gen X, and I am totally fine talking about it. And when I talk about, politics and, my views, I don't project my views. I just make it a conversation. And I'm just looking to get to know the person and share, hey, this is how I feel about this, but, I know not everyone feels the same way. Well, how do you feel about it? Right? Well, I disagree with you, so we can't be together. Okay. And that's how you are. That's how you're going to always be in a situation where we don't agree. Even people that are dating that have absolute chemistry are going to disagree on things. And if you're not able to handle a minor disagreement like that, then it's not going to work out. Every time some disagreement comes up, you're going to handle it the same way. And that's why these relationships in that situation never go anywhere. And we're almost done here. In possibly related news, Match's results also indicate that single people weren't having much sex. That's because they're single and they don't believe in one-night stands, or, they're just not able to, they have difficulty, getting someone to have sex with them. That's a possibility. 7 out of 10 of its survey takers had not had any nookie since the beginning of the pandemic. Wow. Well, I'm sorry about that. That's your choice. And if you're having a hard time finding someone to be intimate with and connect with at that level, you have to look at yourself and ask yourself how you're showing up. You got to be an attractive person. You got to love yourself. Part of being attractive is loving yourself, taking care of yourself, having confidence, not being afraid of rejection, just being the real you and not being someone that you're not to try to fool someone into liking you, right? Which also may be because it is quite tricky to have sex with someone while staying 6 feet away from them. Well, if you're with someone in a relationship and you're dating and pandemic hits, I mean, that, they're safe to be around. So, and I'll tell you, there are a lot of people that are dating that are having sex regularly even throughout this pandemic, and they're not letting it affect them. I don't think that's one aspect that the pandemic is really affecting. I think that's an excuse right there. You need to be careful, when getting to know someone, and, you need to see if they've been tested and they're healthy and all that. But once you know that, it's okay to be close to them. Why are you going to date someone? Why are you going to go on a date with someone that you have to be 6 feet away from? And then they're going to require you to be 6 feet away from them until this pandemic ends? That means you can't kiss, you can't make love, you can't do any of that? What's the point of a relationship without that? You just have to do it the right way. Get to know the person. Maybe the first time you go out, wear your masks and all that. Find out, if they've been tested and they're safe. And after that, if you like them and they like you, then, it's up to you if you want to take that risk, for something like true love, it involves taking a chance whether you're in a pandemic or not. So why deny yourself that? Be careful, but, don't close the doors to your love life just because of the pandemic. For those that did get it on, pickiness about partners didn't seem to be front of mind. Okay. A quarter of them had sex with their non-romantic roommate. 11% had not hooked up with that person before. Yeah, because they're missing the intimacy and they're having a hard time connecting with someone. So they'll just connect with someone that they feel comfortable with, like a roommate or something like that. All right, I get it. I totally get it. And that is that. Let me go back to full screen, and we're going to wrap this up in just a few. We are at 1 hour and 25 minutes. Mutt Nuts World says, that school is only 4 hours from me. It is a beautiful college in Western Maryland. Wow, that's awesome, Mutt. That's awesome. Hey, Mutt, how do you like the background tonight? Let me turn this off here. Let me turn off my camera and turn off the chat here for just a second so you can see this this beautiful background of the Bay Bridge. Isn't that incredible? Let's turn the chat back on and turn me back on. So let me know what you think. All right, folks, I'm going to get on out of here. I've done a couple of pretty lengthy live streams over the past few days. My activity partner is going to be traveling back east to visit some family for the next few weeks. So I'm going to have a lot more time on my hands to create more content. We've started to go hiking again on the weekends, but she's not going to be around for the next few weekends. So I'm going to be doing some more content. So more than likely I will be back tomorrow on Friday. And then I may have a surprise for you folks on Saturday and Sunday. I'm not going to say what it is, but I may have a surprise for you folks that's just going to be awesome. And it will probably come as a pre-recorded video on Saturday or Sunday, more than likely on Saturday. But it all depends. It all depends. I got some really good news today where I may be stepping some things, or I may be moving some things forward a little more quicker than I initially thought, which is not a bad thing. So keep it locked here, folks, and you'll see what's going on. Folks, if you'd like to work with me personally, you need a little extra hand-holding, please go below the description and check out my website, coacheli.com. You can find all my coaching services, my coaching packages there. I offer email coaching and phone coaching. My rates are very, very reasonable. And if you need the coaching, now's the time to do it, because as I become more and more busy, those rates will go up. When the demand is greater, the supply is less, so the rates go up. Right now, my rates are the lowest they will ever be. So if you need help, check that out. Also, and this is totally free. I'm going to be doing these totally free for right now. If you have a situation that you'd like to help me with, and you'd like me to do a live stream response video or a pre-recorded response video that will be publicly available, and you'd like me to help you out, please go below in the description and email me at either Coach Eli at coacheli.com or even Sanctuary at coacheli.com. One or the other. Both of those emails are below the description. And make sure you don't have to put your real name, because people do not want to be identified. You can use a fake name, no problem. But what I would need you to do is share your entire story in as much detail as possible. And make it at least, I'd say, 2 to 3 paragraphs, but the more the better, even 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 paragraphs. I will read the whole thing and I will dissect it and give you my opinion and best advice. The more information you give me, the better advice I can give you. So if you're going to do that, be as detailed as possible and get those emails in, folks. I would love to help you as much as possible regarding anything, whether it's something that's business related, you want to become an entrepreneur and you're trying to transition to the corporate world, you can ask those questions. Whether it's regarding, your dating life or your marriage, any aspect of life, I can help you with. I am experienced in many things, and I would love to help you all have the best shot at accomplishing whatever it is that your heart desires. With that being said, I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. Thank you to Mutt Nuts World for being here. Thank you to Queen Helen Casey again for being here. Thank you, Queen, for being such a great sport. I respect you. I still have to check out the videos you sent me last night. Didn't get a chance to do it last night or today, but I will do it over the next 12 hours or so. And then I'll let you know what I think behind the scenes. And thank you to everyone else that was watching behind the scenes. And I know I have some new channel members. Thank you once again for joining the channel. If you want to become a channel member, you know what to do. Just click the join button. All the packages are there, and they're explained in great detail. With that being said, have yourselves a great night, and I'll see you all next time. Take care. Bye. Bye.